Hello, everybody. Welcome to Football-Oranje. Unfortunately, a bad one to talk about tonight, but we're here for Ajax 1, Roma 2. I'm Michael Statham. I'm one of the editors at Football-Oranje. We've got Alex here again tonight, viewer expert on Twitter, who is offering a sort of Roma point of view, but does watch Ajax closely too. And we've got Jonathan Beck here too, who did some stuff with us at Football-Oranje a little while back now, but he's here again tonight. He is the voice of Eredivisie highlights. If you are someone who watches it in English, he gives the lowdown on teams every week on that. Good to have you both, Alex and Jonathan. I think people are watching live right now, and if they are, I would like them to comment and send in their thoughts on tonight's game. And if you're watching this a few days after, please do leave your comments on YouTube for us to find in the next couple of days. We'll be responding to them as much as possible. So, without further ado, Ajax lost. I'm feeling very frustrated. Jonathan, what are your thoughts on the game? You were commentating for Ajax TV tonight.
Yeah, I think I was just listening to Dusan Tadic actually on the stream from UEFA, and he finished the interview pretty much on the verge of tears. In fact, the final question from the Dutch interviewer was, "You look like you're about to cry," and he really did. I think he's feeling it personally. He's the captain, and they really hinged on that penalty that he missed. He won early in the second half. He missed it. I've never seen him take a penalty like that. He's always put it one way or the other. I've never seen him try and dink it down the middle, and the keeper just didn't move and was an easy save in the end. But then, of course, Roma go up the other end and score from a free kick, which you would expect Schopen to save. You'd expect, even on his European debut when he might have been a bit nervous to pick that one up. And, of course, the cameras immediately take a shot of Martin Stekelenburg sitting in the stands, unable to play because of a knee injury. And then the sucker punch at the end to end that unbeaten run, which has gone 24 games. Last team to beat them, Atalanta, in match day 6 in the Champions League. And it's a man on loan from Atalanta that goes and scores the goal that ends up beating them right in the closing stages. So it's a tough one to take. I think, there's a couple of match reports already saying it was a deserved win for Roma. I wouldn't quite go that far.
No.
Ajax, until the penalty, Ajax were in control. And it took them a while to get back the composure. But if you think about the chance Brian Brobby had in the second half, the chance Anthony had, the amount of possession they had, and the amount of shots they had compared to Roma, I would say it would, even 1-1 would have been a good one for Roma to get away with.
Yeah, it was. I agree with you. I don't think it was a deserved win for Roma at all. I think, if anything, Ajax edged that one. I don't know if that's a biased point of view from me there. But for the first half an hour, it seemed as though nothing really happened. And then it all sort of came to life, especially in the second half. That penalty save was massive, massive, massive. I think if that had gone in, it would have suddenly become 3, possibly 4, because Ajax were showing confidence, were playing really well on the ball. But that penalty save and then the consequent goal, that gave confidence so much to Roma, and they were creating opportunity after opportunity. But then after that, the game swung in Ajax's favour again, and they were able to create a few more chances. Particularly Anthony had a couple saved, and it still seemed as though Ajax were going to get a winning goal. And then the sucker punch winner for Roma, I'm still feeling it. I'm not an Ajax fan, but I'm a Dutch football fan, and it was sorely felt. Alex, what do you think? Do you think it was a deserved win for Roma?
Oh, absolutely not. Like Roma, we spoke about it in the preview, didn't we? Look, we spoke about how Roma are quite dangerous in attack, but so error-prone in defence. And for the first 10 minutes of that second half, they were there for the taking. They carried on giving the ball away to Ajax inside their own half. Felt like they couldn't get out. And you just, on another day, Ajax should have taken those opportunities. I mean, Jonathan's just mentioned the chances there for Brian Brobby and Anthony. I think the one that really came to my mind was Tadic. I think what summarised the game where I think it was Ibanez gave the ball away. The ball got crossed in from Anthony and headed down to Tadic. And he took so many touches in front of the goal. And you're just thinking, just blast it. Even if it gets deflected, it can go one way or the other. And that could be a big moment looking back on the tie. It felt, I've seen a couple of comments in the comment section say Arsenal is the same, but Ajax were trying to walk it in. And you just kind of wanted them to have a few pot shots like Roma did at the end. But I think the BT Sport commentator was describing it as a smash and grab, and I think that's perfectly summing it up from a Roma perspective at least.
Yeah, Roma definitely had their deficiencies tonight. You could see that there were gaps. You could see the things that Ajax could definitely exploit, and they were doing so to a certain extent. You talked to the match preview, Alex, about some of the frailties they've got, and the keeper as well. Or a couple nearly went in. I mean, I know Skerpen made a mistake tonight. For me, that that seems to be nerves. What were your thoughts on that, Jonathan? They didn't take a deflection.
No, it seemed that he was following the flight of the ball, and he almost dived beyond it, and it kind of, he was taking it not in his chest but just above his chest, so that changed what he would normally do as a goalkeeper. I think, I don't know, it's difficult without hearing his interview. It's difficult to, but you have to feel for him. He made a really good save in the first half from Cristante's shot, which was probably going to give him plenty of confidence, and then he didn't have too much to do before that in the second period. But that's going to be the thing he thinks about, of course, tonight when he goes to bed. Not the fact he's making his European debut and he's helped his side to stay in the tie. They're very much in the tie. I mean, we all have seen from past Champions League performances and European performances that Ajax are very strong away from home, and it's well within their capability to score a couple of goals away from home. So we'll see. They've lost Bruno Perez, the wing back, but Rick Karstorp will be back from suspension next week anyway. So you would have expected him to slot in there. Ajax have lost Divina Wrench. So that's a headache for Erik ten Hag to think about who he puts in at right back. Is Mazraoui going to be ready and fit, or does Kleber come in, or does Timber go there, and will Pashur's be back after a knee problem? So there's a few questions.
Yeah, no, I think that the latter. I think Schurz will be back, and then Timber perhaps put a right back. But Ten Hag likes to keep us guessing, and I think that the inclusion of Wrench midfield against Heerenveen was a surprise, and it again was using these kind of ideas again tonight, and it nearly worked for him. I still feel as though Ajax were quite unlucky tonight. I know that they had players missing, but you've got to say with what they had, they didn't do pretty badly at all. I think they did all right, and this is a massive match, probably their biggest match of the season, and they didn't do too badly. I still would rate them pretty highly tonight. Now, Jonathan, I know you've got to go. There's much more to come out on our show here at Football-Oranje. We've got some comments to put up on screen yet. But your thoughts on tonight, Jonathan, and going ahead into next week as well. Ajax are pretty good away from home in Europe, but do you think they can do it again?
I do, yeah. I mean, I think we also, just to throw a point in, a fairly obvious point, I suppose Daley Blint's absence would have been very key in those moments after conceding the equaliser, when things just needed to calm down. You need a head in there who's talking to everybody, and he, having him in there, I think might have made quite a difference. But yeah, I just think we've seen Ajax before do really well away from home. They scored 2 goals away at Lille. They scored 2 away at Young Boys. I think it's definitely within their capabilities, particularly if one of those girls goes in early.
All right. Well, Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us on Football-Oranje today. We hope to again have you soon on what we do here at Football-Oranje, so we'll be in touch. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Speak soon. Alex, your thoughts then on tonight. And I did notice as well that there was, in the first half, Spinazzola, he was going down Ajax's right-hand side, Roma's left. He was putting all these crosses and, exposing the weaknesses that Ajax had. The young players on the right-hand side, Anthony is not the best defensively, and putting in cross after cross. And we did speak in the preview about this, that was going to be something that Roma could exploit, and they were.
And it was something, I think it was something as well that going into the game, like we mentioned before, Spinazzola, he's a weird player. That is an attacking left wing back who's right-footed, but as you saw him, he makes it work really well. He's very comfortable on both feet, and it's strange from an Ajax perspective that they didn't see that coming, because even I think statistics-wise, he's usually got the most assists and dribbles. So he's definitely someone who, on paper, he should have been one that they should have kept an eye out for. And perhaps I will say from Anthony's perspective as well, he did make the most interceptions in Ajax's team, so. Maybe he's one of those players who looks like he's not doing so much, but he's doing a bit more than we realise, which is like it happens at times. But I will say for Anthony as well, I mean, I haven't managed to watch Ajax in every game for the Europa League, but this is the brightest I've seen him, at least in a European. He looked
pretty good today, yeah. For European, because he plays pretty well in the Eredivisie. But I agree with you, because he was sort of like always offering himself on the right-hand side, and he was always in the box getting on stuff. And I think he wasn't looking out to score tonight, and that's what I mean when I say Ajax weren't lucky.
Yeah, and he was unlucky not to get a couple of assists. He was doing some really nice passes into the box as well, just taking up great positions. So hopefully he gets something there. I was going to say, just before he gets dropped as well, because we were touching on the goalkeeper thing there. I think what we should say for the Ajax keeper, his name's just escaped me, Statham. Skirpin. There we go. I wrote it down in 6 different spellings in my notes. But I will say that what happened to him was similar to what happened to Neuer last night. And it's not, if anything on the night, I think Lopez was by far the worst keeper. What Sherpin has done is he's basically been trained to save a better shot than what's happened. So he's planned for a better flight path, and it's actually quite a terrible shot, and it's caught him out, which isn't great, but it's not to say it doesn't catch out everyone. I mean, Mbappe scuffed his shot last night and quite one of the world's best goalkeepers of all time. So it's unlucky for him. Hopefully he does pick his confidence up, because I think apart from that, he did have a solid game, and there was no stopping that last shot. Jeez, from Ibanez, what a finish.
Yeah, nothing's going to stop that. I suppose Klaasen's little flicked header could have been better, and who was marking him to begin with? Why did they let him go? Questions remain over that goal. I also think there was a bit of naivety with the way that Ajax were trying to go gung-ho for that goal after the 2-1, and they were going for 2-2, but if they consider a third goal and it's 3-1, that's even worse. And I think that kind of naivety was showing again tonight. And I remember Tadic was actually a bit further back when that was happening. And maybe he was saying, well, I'll let the younger guys go forward. Whereas I realised that maybe it's quite important to have a couple of people back. Otherwise, it could be even worse. But shocking to hear that he was in tears afterwards.
Yeah, I did notice that it felt like that. After the few minutes after they scored, is that I was going gung-ho. And I realised in the last couple of minutes, it felt like, especially just as whistles about to go, I think they kind of stopped it for a second there, slowed it down. I think maybe word got out and said, don't bloody concede 3 away goals, you idiots. Make sure you keep it slightly together. But it's still set up to go ahead. I mean, because it's your first experience watching Roma, I've watched them a few times. They don't exactly strike you as a team who are going to shut out Ajax in the second leg, do they? You can't imagine them dropping back and creating and not stopping any chances, because if anything, Ajax created too many chances and they just didn't know how to take the best out of them at times. So it's definitely set up for Ajax right in the second leg.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of chance for them to still be had there. Let's get some comments on screen then. So Dave was in early and said about how Ajax dominated the game, and as soon as the penalty was saved, he had the feeling the game would change for the worse, and a missed opportunity there. Agree.
I completely agree.
Ibrahimi. Ajax Roma was a typical Dutch versus Italy match. Oh, wow. Although I think, is it that Ajax have lost against all 4 Italian opponents that they've played under Ten Hag as manager now? I think it is. It's not a good line for him.
That sounds like a weird stat. They should get proven wrong sometime soon.
Like some game management at times, I do agree with that. David Blind was a big miss tonight with that, and so was Jack Ellenberg in goal. Do you feel as if Ajax can grab the away win in Rome? Definitely shake at the back. You were right with that, Alex. You're spotting with that in your preview. And Martijn, being a Dutch football fan is hard. Be the better team, miss a ton of chances, lose and repeat. Yeah, that's what it was like for many years before, wasn't it? It's good that we have a Dutch national team that has performed recently, but also Ajax performing really well in European competitions. Not always bad, but of course tonight was like a repeat of the olden days. Oh, here's the XG look. 3.2 against 0.7.
There was a moment early in the stream. If anyone rewatched it, they'll catch me laughing because when this comment popped up, I was waiting for it. I was wondering what the XG might have been.
Another one about the lack of leadership at the back. And if Blitz had played that game, this guy thinks Ajax would have won the game.
I think it's correct, because watching this game is one where it wasn't necessarily boring, but at times it was hard to watch because it felt like there was a lack of tempo or pattern to the game. Like neither team were controlling it. It just kind of felt like not end to end, but a ball bouncing between 2 teams that are dangerous in attack but can't defend almost at the time. Mainly more Roma. I think what Ajax needed to go really, really classical. Ajax needed a Daily Blind and a Ziyech. A Daily Blind to control the game. To get once Ajax are on the ball to go, okay, slow it down. We're gonna pick up like chances, make sure we split Roma apart and we're not massively caught out in defence. And you needed a Ziyech who would have just gone, okay, I'm within 25 yards of this goal. I'm shooting. It doesn't matter if there's players in front of me. If flex, it goes in, whatever. Rather than that, what really strikes out to me, like I said, that Tadic moment where he's just taking so many touches. He almost had a free shot, and then by the time he's ready to shoot, 3 Roma players have got in front of him. But hopefully, that's just maybe it's a bit more of European nerves. I think teams do get like that, so maybe it's something that they'll work on in the next match.
Yeah, you think with all the chances that have happened tonight that defeat wasn't just for Ajax, but also that they can go and win the away leg if that offers anyone any sort of confidence as an Ajax fan. But the chances were there to be taken, and there will be more in the next leg. Robbie had that one-on-one. Anthony's flick, the volley that he had saved. I've got some notes here of just all these chances that Ajax had, but also the Roma chances too. And actually, that Dzeko header, I think he was up against Timber at the back post, and he won the header so easily. These crosses are going to be a big problem, I think, again in the second leg. Martinez, again, isn't the biggest in the air. He's good and technical, but Timber's quite physical. He's definitely plying his trade as a good centre-back. He's going to be world-class. I think one day he could be up there as a different type of centre-back to De Ligt, but a very technical one. Wrench at the back post. Tagliafico's not exactly tall. So there's a lot of crosses that Roma can put into.
You mentioned Tagliafico there. We should give him a second of a shout-out because really early on in the game, it could have been done for Ajax, where I think it was about 25 minutes in. I'm looking at my notes around that. A cross came in and Tagliafico was against Dzeko and he somehow jumped up and headed it away. And that was a key moment for me because you've got Dzeko, one of the best finishers in the world, with his head at the back post. And I don't know how Tagliafico managed to reach up and head it completely out. I thought that was a huge moment for Ajax, but it was pretty clear throughout the game, right? Roma were definitely the more physical side. But I thought Ajax were quite bitey at times. I think they were good at times to stop counter-attacks. I haven't checked the foul statistics yet, but it felt like Ajax were doing that well.
Yeah, they were definitely a team that was going to put their feet into a tackle because they knew they were going to win too many things in the air. But also, Roma had the pace too, especially down the wings, I noticed. But they were kind of catching out the fullbacks from going too far up. And Tagliafico was one of those. But Tagliafico had a very good game apart from that. He won a couple of very good tackles. Any last thoughts you'd like to give, Alex, before I go a bit off topic with one of the comments?
Yeah, sure. I will say that I still think I'm still backing Ajax for this tie. This hasn't changed. This hasn't changed it for me. I'm not sure. I can't remember what my first leg prediction was for this game, Michael. But I'm pretty sure.
I think we both said 1-1, and it felt like for a long time that was going to be the case.
Yeah,
I feel pretty good about myself. I was like, they didn't know they were winning, but 1-1, I got that right, and then 2-1 went in. I was like, right, I get that right, and now I feel gutted.
Well, it still feels like a 1-1 to me because I think we both expected Ajax to do worse in the first leg at home. You expecting that from a hardened Eredivisie fanatic and me living off 18-19 nostalgia vibes where Ajax carried on bombing it in the first leg and smashing in the second leg. But no, this game's perfectly set up for Ajax to catch Roma off guard and take the game to them. And they've proved that they can create the chances. They just need to finish them. And it wasn't as if Roma provided a counter-attacking masterclass. Like, both their goals were of complete fortune. And I don't really see them creating many more chances next game, depending if Mkhitaryan's fit or playing for it. But yeah, I still think we can feel really confident about Ajax going through overall against Roma, and then hopefully against, I believe, United in the semi-finals.
You got that lined up already, have you? I feel a bit less confident after tonight. I felt as though this was Ajax's big chance to go and win. You know, the fact that they were so presentable, Roma, I was like, oh great, yeah, let's go win 2-0, and it didn't happen. And now I'm just feeling quite pessimistic about it. Ben left a comment about XG as well, which we already had up about how they did have a bigger one, but it's just gutting as you see things like that. One of the final comments was from Dave, and he's someone who's been commenting for a long time. He said that his kids are demanding that I bring back the granny bed. Now, we're moving up in the world. I was going through a rough time of moving houses, so I had to have a granny bed in the background. I had nothing to sit on. It wasn't my house. That's no longer going to be the case. We not noticed that we had a fancy countdown today. We've upgraded the way we're doing our live streams. Things are changing, man.
I noticed that Football-Oranje are going up in the world. Wait till the Beneliga happens. Wait till the Beneliga happens. Then you're going multi-millionaire, man. You'll be getting your own mansion and everything.
But the reason why we were able to upgrade to what we were doing tonight, and we'll be doing so from future, is because of the wristbands. And people watching is going, oh, we've done about those wristbands again. Or some people are going, oh, maybe I could still get one of these. And you definitely still can. the Euro 2020 wristbands. Alex has got his somewhere.
Keep doing your promo. 1 second.
Yeah, right. He's going to go find it. It has got the Football-Oranje QR code on. It's got our website name on. And it's also got Euro 2020 on it as well, and the Netherlands Lion. You can still get them, and they're in our YouTube description. You can click on the link there to get it. You can also get it on our Twitter page. It's pinned to the top of the link to get one. And because of generous donations, and there was the most recent one as well, someone bought 6 of them. It was amazing. Thank you very much to that person. We were able to afford this. So, these things do make a big difference to us, and we can continue to grow if you're able to commit any money to us. But if you can't, don't worry. It's fantastic you're able to watch, like, and subscribe to what we do already. I don't know if Alex managed to find the wristband yet, but we're pretty much wrapping up the Ajax Roma match response tonight, the match reaction. Have you found it, Alex?
I can confirm I haven't found it, but I can also confirm they are amazing quality, and you should get them before they run out. So make sure you buy them at home, people.
Before you lost it, have you actually tried the QR code yet?
I did, yeah, and it works.
It works? Yeah, there we go, right, it works.
Yeah,
thank you for confirming it works. It's better than just coming from me. Well, Alex, thank you for coming on tonight. Of course, we appreciate having you on recently, but we may also continue to have you on occasion to fill in on certain bits that are very useful to us. The fact that you know about Roman, gave us a heads up about a dodge defence was very useful tonight, knowing that Ajax have still got a chance in the second leg. So if you enjoyed tonight's mini podcast, do give it a like, do subscribe to Football-Oranje from you. And of course, see the things on our website. I know that Mike has just been typing out a player ratings for the match tonight. So if you haven't seen that, go onto the website and check that out. And watch out for our match reaction, which will come next Thursday too. Hopefully it's good news, and hopefully Ajax are through. If not, we'll be talking about another magnificent one from Europe, because it hasn't been bad at all. Not Champions League standards, but it did pretty well. And yeah, thanks, Alex. We're back in soon, won't we?
Yeah, we will do, and hopefully this time next week I won't be feathering the storm of angry Ajax fans, and as a neutral, I'll be able to pretend to be an Ajax fan and love the joy of getting through to the semis.
Definitely. And finally, if you haven't commented and you're not watching live, do comment down below and we'll get back to you. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.